Hello, this is Virtua Fighter 3tb for Dreamcast. I'm playing this in the emulator Flycast in Windows. Let's do normal mode with Akira. I'm going to hold start so I get his alternate costume, purple headband. This is on normal difficulty, I hope. Because I'm not very good with Akira, but he's the only one I can play because the CPU in this game cannot dodge. Ow! You can't avoid sweep kicks, and Akira's the only character who does not have a sweep kick, so I can't exploit the CPU, which I don't want to do. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, let's get it going. There we go, that's something. Oh heck! Oh dang. What was... I've forgotten Akira's moves, of course. There we go, there's one. Was that forward? Forward? No. Back forward. Back forward punch kick. No, what did I do? Ah, heck. Oh, jeez! That was mask came off. Ew. It's forward kick. Ow! Dang it, he keeps crushing me with that. Like so. I'm no good. Come on. Ready, go! I'm forgetting. It's bugging me. I can't. Oh, there's something. If when in doubt, crouch and punch him down low, and then look awkwardly through your transparent scalp. Dang it! Ooh. Oh yeah, he doesn't have a guard plus kick move either. Oh. I'm just gonna shove you over like a bully on the playground. And punch your ankle after you're already unconscious. He'll wake up wondering why his ankle is sore. Ooh! Oh, right in the shove zone. He's just getting thrashed now. Oh man! Oh, I almost had a perfect. Oh, Biff. Oh man, that looked painful. Ah, his legs popped up. Yeah. Uncertain looking Akira. Who is next? Oh no, it's me. Okay. Oh no. Ow. I don't know how to do that move. Oh, that move. Oh, you can punch and kick at the same time by hitting... was it just... It's not guard kick. Oh, whoa! That was all three buttons at once. Whoa. I just learned a new move, all three buttons at once, and he just thrusts in both are in opposite directions with his palms. Not sure it actually does that much damage or anything. Oh no! I haven't been trying to throw. There it is. How do I... Because I learned that punch and kick at the same time move once because, I think I was afraid it might serve as a sweep exploitable move, or a move you could exploit the CPU's sweep vulnerability with. Did it though. guess I could go check my notes. That sounds boring though. Let's kick him in the head. There was a lot of discussion that I jumped in on various types of forums this week about Virtua Fighter because Sega just announced another Virtua Fighter, but it's just another version of Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown, essentially. We already had Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, which pretty much just had some of the costume customization of Final Showdown. Just some of it. They never put all of it in like they said they were gonna. And then they redid like the characters' faces, not all for the better. This is done by the Yakuza team, or the Like a Dragon team. Redid some of the faces, redid the stages. It's kind of, I don't really like the graphical style. It doesn't have the slick, really smooth, streamlined, sharp look of the old AM2 arcade game. It's just more of a conventional console, you know, bump mapped, kind of Muppety looking thing. Anyway, they also added in stupid hit sparks when you kick people. And then the director was hanging out with Tekken director Harada and ended up putting Tekken stuff into the game. That was kind of the final straw for me. It was like, nope. No, I ain't having Tekken in my Virtua Fighter. It's dead to me. So anyway, this new iteration of the same thing is Virtua Fighter 5 EVO. No, wait. R.E.V.O, that's it. I mean, we had a Sega Rally R.E.V.O on PS3 that sucked, and that wasn't even made by Sega dev team. So, or not a Japanese Sega dev team. I think it was like a British team or something. So I don't know what this R.E.V.O stands for exactly, but anyway, what its reason for being is that they finally decided to do rollback netcode. They thought they didn't need to do that for Ultimate Showdown, and they were wrong. At least for the West. In Japan, it doesn't seem to matter because they're all on this super fast, super short-range network. But in the US, it mattered, and everybody hated the Absorb netcode or whatever stupid name they had for it. Oh no, he dodged that. So it's gonna have rollback. I mean, hopefully they'll implement it well. It's gonna have the redone faces and stages by the Yakuza team. And that's about all. They said it'll have arcade mode, but it sounds like it'll just be arcade and online. They haven't said it'll have any character customization. Maybe it will, but they haven't said it will. They haven't said how much it'll cost. Yeah, I got, so not that exciting for someone like me who isn't interested in playing online anyway. I'll just stick to my ripped version of Final Showdown and play it in RBCS3, where I get all the customization and oh boy. And I can play the special sparring mode versus the custom CPUs and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah. What kind of gets to me is when people are like, this is definitely proof they're working on Virtua Fighter 6. It's like, okay. Whatever. Personally, I don't think they're working on Virtua Fighter 6. I don't think they really have anybody to work on Virtua Fighter 6. These Ultimate Showdown, and probably this, which appears to have even less work put into it. Ultimate Showdown was definitely made by the The Like a Dragon team. They redid the clothing that they put in high res, and high def, or whatever, and all this stuff. So that was them. I mean, Sega only have, I think, the 2 dev teams right now, right? They've got the Like a Dragon team, and they've got Sonic team, or whatever, they go by these days. That's pretty much it. Like, it's the Yakuza team who do Super Monkey Ball stuff, because their members were in Amusement Vision back in the day, which are the people who invented Super Monkey Ball. So it's just those 2 teams. So when people are like, no, they're definitely working on Yakuza 6, well, who would be working, or on VF6, who would be working on a Virtua Fighter game? Because that wouldn't be a small team. And are they just some secret team that nobody knows about at Sega? I doubt it. Seems unlikely. Like, I was looking on Moby Games, I was looking at the credits, or the people in the credits for Final Showdown, and then seeing if they've still been doing stuff at Sega. And actually, to my surprise, a lot of them were, but they're doing like Kitsune Miku or whatever. They're doing, and some Yakuza Like a Dragon stuff. So they're doing stuff, some of them. I didn't look up all of them, but the ones I looked up were still there, which did surprise me. But, I mean, they're doing stuff. They're doing stuff that makes money, whereas Virtua Fighter has not made money. It's kind of hard to see Sega taking the people they would need to take off of these other projects that do make money and putting them on a Virtua Fighter, which would be a huge project. And would not be... Oh no, wow. Wow, she rolled me. Kind of ruled. And would not be guaranteed to make money. The problem is, Virtua Fighter, they made Virtua Fighter into this super hardcore game, and they always wanted it to be this arcade thing. They never wanted to give it a story. And that's why it lost to Tekken, ultimately, because it had no story. They didn't really have a whole lot of stuff to give people who were just looking for single-player stuff to do. They didn't have that kind of stuff because they didn't want to do a story mode. So you're just not gonna, unless they're gonna turn it into a, I mean, they could give it like a Yakuza style. Oh no, I'm getting rolled by Owie. Type setup or something, give it a semi-open world adventure type thing or something. I mean, they could probably sell that a bit. But again, that's another huge endeavor. So it's just not, it's hard to see how they would make money on a Virtua Fighter at this point. Aside from just endlessly putting out new revisions of Final Showdown, which they can do relatively cheaply. But I mean, they practically gave Final Showdown away even to begin with. Oh no! And they pretty much gave away Ultimate Showdown on PlayStation Network because it was free with a PS Plus subscription. And it still didn't ultimately, have the traction it needed. And now I suppose they're saying, well, if we give it, rollback netcode that all the people in the States seem to want, then they'll like it. And it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, it'll give the people who do want to play it online a chance to play it. Hopefully, with some not too bad internet stuff going on, so that's nice, I guess. But it's just going to be the same thing over again, basically. Whoa, that was weird. But, I mean, I guess, you know, it'll give the hardcore players who do want to play online, it'll give them a lasting platform for decent online play, hopefully. I think that's about the best we can hope for from this. Oh, also, I didn't mention, this is, so far it's only mentioned for Steam, for PC. They've said it's gonna, well, the other thing it's gonna have, that they've announced is a balance update, which is the first balance change they'll have done since Final Showdown came out. They didn't do a balance change for Ultimate Showdown. That's sort of a big deal if you're hardcore about online, or even offline, you know, multiplayer, and how the characters stack up against each other, I guess. Whether or not they'll be able to do that to people's satisfaction, who knows? I mean, at this point, people who have lived with the current balance for decades practically now, so, you know, is changing it at this point gonna... Oh, God! Gonna satisfy anybody, really? But it might, I don't know. Oh wait, there it was. I think. Was that just down forward? Oh, it's down forward guard kick. That's right, he does have the one guard kick. Maybe it's that. Oh, I wanted to do that all three buttons move, but I hit the wrong button combination. So anyway, and they haven't even announced a real release date. They've said this balance update. Oh, so the balance update is that they're calling version 2.0 or whatever, for whatever reason. This balance update 2.0 is coming to Ultimate Showdown on console. And they're supposed to be getting that in winter, whenever that means. It'll come out on console for Ultimate Showdown. Just this update, which I imagine is a free update patch. But they have not announced rollback netcode for Ultimate Showdown. They haven't announced that it will be crossplay with this new Steam version or anything, and given that they haven't said it will be, I would think it probably won't be, but wouldn't hold your breath. And they definitely have not said that the console versions are getting rollback netcode, which, because I think people don't understand rollback netcode, neither do I, but what I have heard people who sounded like they knew what they're doing, or knew what they're talking about, say about rollback, is that something like the deal with rollback netcode is that you're running two versions of the game. One that is the one that you're seeing, and one is a simulated version that's running slightly ahead of that. That's how they can roll back, or something. I don't know. Maybe it's running slightly. See, this is where I get confused. Anyway, they're running two versions of the game at once, basically, and so that's fine to do with old, like, 2D fighting games and stuff. Because on a modern system, those are, you can run, you know, 10 versions of those at once if you needed to, but you can't just take a more complicated game like, you know, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown and necessarily say, oh, okay, we're just going to run another simulation of it so we can, you know, do the rollback thing. That's probably going to exceed the you know, the processing power of the PS4. They would have to, like, get something out or chop the graphics way down or something in order to get it to work. And they're probably not going to do that. I wouldn't think, but I don't really know. But I wouldn't hold your breath for that. Ow! Oh man. So yeah, anyway. That's and people are also in denial, like it leaked out from this, I think he was a Sega Europe guy or something, like a couple months ago. He just kind of out of the blue said, oh, we're working on another Virtua Fighter game, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this obscure Sega Europe guy said they're working on a Virtua Fighter. It must be Virtua Fighter 6. And then, then we find out this is coming, so, do the math. But people still are like, oh, it means they're also working on Virtua Fighter 6, and this is just the test for Virtua Fighter 6. And I'm thinking, yeah, I don't think that's what it means. I mean, the fact is, well, it's not a fact. I think, it seems to me that Ultimate Showdown was essentially the game AM2 made instead of Virtua Fighter 6. Like they were a arcade game developer, and the handwriting was on the wall for arcades. And so, they did not do a sequel. They put together a final package of Virtua Fighter 5, called it Final Showdown, and that was it. As far as they were concerned. Whining. Oh, I couldn't get out. So yeah, I don't see Sega making a VF6, but whatever. People are always gonna dream that they will. I just don't think, like, even if they tried to make one, I don't see it being good. I don't know. They just don't have the arcade thing anymore, It would be very different feeling anyway. I mean, as far as I've ever heard, which is not like I go deep into these things, the last successful home Virtua Fighter was this one in Japan, not when it came out like a year later in the US. That was way too late. But the Virtua Fighter 3TB for Dreamcast in Japan, what I've read is that was a big was a big success. It was like a launch title or a near launch title in Japan, and it sold well. It's the last one. I mean, it didn't do well in the States. It came out really late and looked pretty bad next to like Soul Calibur. At least that's what I thought at the time. I took it back. I didn't know anything about VF really. I just thought this is a very gray and low res looking game. 13th grade. And then Virtua Fighter 4. They put this huge production into that for the console version, but they didn't, they came out with this quest mode. That was kind of their solution to, something for home players to have to keep them busy. The problem is they had also made the game incredibly complicated for VF4. So the game got way more complicated. The move list got huge, and the difficulty level in the quest mode was really hard. Like, it was not adjustable. There was no adjustable difficulty in the Kumite mode, as it was called in 4 Vanilla. And for me, at least, after I've played for a couple hours, or even maybe just an hour, I get to a point where the AI is just ridiculous and obviously, just blatantly input reading and being a total inhuman just wall, and it's just not fun anymore. And they didn't really, they did put an easier difficulty setting in for the, what they now call quest mode in Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. And on that easier difficulty, you can, you know, play for longer before it gets, like, the AI is still obviously input reading and being a cheap jerk. But, it lets you hit it more, so, you know, kind of, you can last longer, but it's still not really that fun to play against that AI for long periods. And then 5 had the same AI with the addition of not being able to defend throws properly, so 5 vanilla, you can just throw it forever, and that's kind of dumb. And then and then Final Showdown came out, took away quest mode, which was a real bummer. I was seriously bummed out about that, but did sort of fix the AI. It's still got, you can kind of overwhelm it with certain attacks if you really want to, and just kind of crush it with, like, kick spam from L-Blaze, for instance, on the highest difficulty. Just spam whatever kick it is. But if you just don't try to exploit it like that, then you can kind of get a decent fight out of Final Showdown. But no quest mode, so that was a bummer. And people, of course, now are like, well, is Virtua Fighter 5 R.E.V.O gonna have a quest mode? Like, why wouldn't they have a quest mode? We want quest mode. It's like, they're not gonna do it, dude. They don't have a budget for that. The game doesn't make money. They can't do it. I'd like them to do it. That would rule. Then I would buy it. But they're not gonna. So anyway, this was Virtua Fighter 3tb. The last, at least in Japan, commercially successful Virtua Fighter for the home. And it's kind of my favorite, aside from the fact that the CPU can't defend sweeps properly. But as long as it's kind of a good excuse just to play my weak Akira, because he's the only one who does not have a sweep, so he cannot exploit the poor AI, and he can actually have kind of a good time playing through arcade mode in 3tb. Oh, we might as well go enjoy the story. This is also the Virtua Fighter, the full Virtua Fighter iteration that has, like, the most story as far as I'm aware. I haven't played Virtua Fighter 1, but I don't think that really has any story stuff in it. I don't want options, I want history. So once you beat it in story mode, you get to watch this ending. Now, it does warn you to save your data because I don't think I really have any data to save. Where do you do that anyway? Versus records? Oh yeah, I don't have, like, versus records. But whatever, save it anyway, yeah. Which button's A? I guess that one. Because once you're in this, like, the only way to get out of this video is to reset the machine, essentially. Oh no, I forgot. Oh no, I broke it. And I think now that it reset, that won't be there. Yeah, but I do have this on a save state. I started automatically on a save state, so I should still be able to do it. I forgot that in Flycast, to play the movie correctly, I have to change one of the video settings to, I have to enable full frame buffer emulation is the option. Otherwise it flickers like that. Frame buffer emulation says that it's slow, so I don't want to have it on normally, but gotta have it on for the video. So yeah, this is the most actual story in a Virtua Fighter game, like an actual fighting game, Virtua Fighter game that I'm aware of. And it's pretty weird. And I love it. They did release a new song for Virtua Fighter for this upcoming new Virtua Fighter 5, whatever iteration or clone or cut down remake or whatever you want to call it. And this song is by I forget his name. He's a Japanese composer and who's a longtime Sega employee. He's the Daytona guy. He's the guy who composed and did the vocal for Daytona, the Daytona USA song. So it's that guy. So it's kind of, it's just imagine that guy doing a Virtua Fighter song and it's kind of what you expect. It's, it's fun. You can find that on YouTube. The video accompanying it, I have read, is just the same video that came out. It's like the intro video for Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. So that kind of shows you maybe the level of development that they've really invested into this latest regurgitation. They didn't make a new video, but they did get a new song, and they stuck it in an old video. I love that fading, whatever that is. I guess it's an electric guitar. And then it resets your console. But then we get to see the intro, which I don't get to see at the start now because I'm having it automatically start from a save state where it has the options and ending save still. Anyway, Virtua Fighter 3tb. It's a heck of a fun game. Probably pretty darn fun in versus play, I would think, where you don't have to worry about the CPU not being able to defend against sweeps. But I've never played it versus. I don't have anybody to play it with. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't want to because I'm scared. I get stressed out trying to compete with people. I'm just a big wimp who stays home and plays games by himself. And that's how I chill out, so, whatever. Man, Takarashi looks so much better here than in 5, any version of 5. I just can't even look at him in Final Showdown. Well, I mean, I can look at him, but it's... Now, like, Takarashi is definitely underpowered in 5. Well, that's what I understand from watching, like Japanese tournaments. And then the CPU Takarashi is pretty bad. So you would think, for instance, if they're doing a balance pass, that Taka would get buffed up. It'd be interesting. I wonder if they'll just leave the CPU characters the same, though, because otherwise they would have to adjust the AI, you would think, to be ready to use any moves with different timing or whatever. And they don't seem too interested in changing any single-player stuff, so who knows? Well, I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. I'll just play this from time to time instead, And of course I am playing Final Showdown these days. Just having my old fun, making costumes and playing against the weird custom costume CPUs and special sparring mode. That's still good fun. So yeah, I'll just be doing that instead of getting suckered into this latest cut down version that they're trying to get me to buy. I did buy Ultimate Showdown and that ended up being disappointing. And I don't play online, so the rollback netcode thing for this latest thing doesn't do anything for me. V3tb though, that does it for me. Yeah. That's it for now. See you later. Bye bye.